Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Connorwick.
And I'm Mangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, if it's a new cast going up, that means there's another beta phase that's just come out. We have a real ripper on here for you today, actually, Orsha North. And we have some really, really great players. Rang, who's fighting, and what are they bringing to the table?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have the Syrian, his name's Curbs, but he goes by his Rouse name. Nonetheless, he's playing, on the right side, my bad, he's a Russian player. He's playing as the second Guards tank division, and he has balanced income. And on the left-hand side, the name is even worse. We got kampfgruppe strumpfbouboule. I think that's how you say it. I think we're just going to call him kampfgruppe. And he's playing as the new Harteneck division, and he has...
I think
Vanguard. Yeah, as we can't see the actual income because the name is a bit too long, unfortunately, which is a little bit annoying.
I'll leave the sexual jokes for later on in the match. But Harteneck. So this Kampfgruppe, I don't know. I've taken a look at these guys. I think they're absolutely great. What do you think?
Yeah, they're very good. They have some of the best infantry in game, like really good long-range infantry of the Hungarians, really good short-range infantry of the German cavalry SMG troops. The Tigers are plentiful and you got enough tanks to fight in good tank fights. Of course, the obvious weakness is the lack of anti-air and the lack of artillery, which does suck, especially a lack of RT, I find. But apart from that, I think they're like Paris Division in the centre at ragtag, but they're better in Paris Division.
Oh, markedly better. It's kind of nice to see. We have these little rinky-dink, the armored recons.
Those are Panzer II Luxes.
Yes, which, surprising enough, I don't know how I always thought this. I always thought the Lux meant light. No, it means Lynx.
Lynx, yeah. I don't know why they use I think the reason they use the prototype name, the VK901, is because they, like, straight out the factory or something, someone explained, but it was a Panzer II Luxes if you guys are wondering.
I'm having flashbacks to Star Wars, like TK421. Why don't you at your post? You poor man.
Yeah.
Got killed by freaking Han Solo. What a bastard.
But nonetheless, a pretty conservative breakout from both sides. Nothing really too crazy. Count fusing quite a few of those Luxes and runs penetrating right through the middle.
Yeah, but he's not holding any territory, which is kind of depressing.
No.
And why not? Because he's just too much recon.
He's just a few infantry units here to just capture those important flags.
Well, and that's the thing too. I'm sure you guys have noticed. We are looking at a little bit new, kind of a graphical update, ever so slightly. I wish we were going to see a P1 go down. Sorry, P2 go down, right near that center flag they were talking about before. What do you think, Rang? I know it's a largely cosmetic idea, but you want flags? Or you want your little spots back?
The flags are better. The flags are so much better. Much easier to see where the actual points are now.
Can we also please talk about the fact that we have a Jagdpanzer 38T that's engaging the T-34 from a billion miles away?
Yeah, it is such a sneaky spot. I wouldn't even expect
to worry about that.
But damn, yeah, we got Hetches now, and the Hetches, they goddamn Hetch. They Hetch like a madman, and they're really, really good tanks for like 60 points.
By the way, the Hetzer is what we're talking about with this whole 38T, but yes, he has a brilliant line of sight for the most part, going further and further out. He could have seen that entire tree line.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see the developing attack overall. It looks like the Russians maybe are flirting with the idea of shifting further to the north, like an echelon. But I don't know if that's going to pay any dividends for quite a while.
I definitely think for our Russian player, Curbs, pushing up north is definitely the best way to go. As pushing down south is pretty hard, as where that hill where the Hedger is, that is such a good defensive spot, especially if you put like a veteran sheet tiger up here. It's very hard to push. While up north, you can get your T-34s round and about a little bit easier of less longer range engagements.
Agreed, and actually down to the south, the Soviets have been put to flight. T-34s are not able to stand with that kind of magnitude of firepower. Though we do have a shooter being knocked out as he's moving further and further east.
Yeah, this T-34 fights fellow T-34.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. Gruppe Harteneck does have themselves some captured Boita equipment.
Is Ori's rather interesting. I really like his Luke's down south. That is such a sneaky spot. He's been really aggressive with his Luke's, and they've been They're paying off in terms of position, and whether we can get some kills with him now, that'd be very interesting. Because autocannons in this game are really good. They're very scary.
Yes, they are. And you know what? We're seeing the first indications of that Soviet air power that's going to be evidencing itself quite well. Now, you said that Harteneck doesn't have a ton of AA. Do they have the air power to compensate, or is that not going to be helpful to most German players?
Yeah, they got a lot of Messerschmitt fighters, and the Messerschmitt fighters are pretty bloody good. So he has that going for him, which is really, like Harteneck, they rely very much on more fighter support rather than anti-air support to get air supremacy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, it's worth noting that we are going to see some Guards infantry deploying. This might be a good time to talk again about some of the infantry that we were talking about in terms of Harteneck. And we're going to see, just as an example, while the Russians are shifting to the north, you can see there on the mini-map, down south we do have this right to Jaeger MP44s. Take us through this group as well as to the right Jaeger to the west of that.
Yeah, so it was both German cavalry troops, if I recall. One of them was an SMG squad with a Panzerfaust. The other one is like an SMG/STG squad. And in forest engagements such as this, they're going to do pretty bloody good. You see that right Jaeger MP44, it's just shredding up the Guard squad easy peasy. And it's really, like, goddamn STGs are pretty powerful in this medium range area.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Hungarian dudes yet. You might have them in B phase. But it's just using a lot of these cavalry Jaegers earlier on, and they're going to be paying off rather well.
Now, to take a look back up to the north, we are going to see the Russians have done that penetration attack, but they've been put a small stop there. I'm not sure what took out that T-34. Was that maybe the 184 45 mil?
That is. I have no bloody idea. It's really tight angle.
What we can say is that there are some Germans over there rocking some DP light machine guns, desperately trying to hold on to the southern part of that town. And there's that ME-109 you were talking about. He's making a gun run, maybe at that 45 anti-tank.
Yeah. Also, interesting thing about the Messerschmitt 109s in this division is they're all Hungarian Air Force ME-109s, which is really cool. There's a bit of interesting flavour.
Now, I do think we are going to see a dead yak here.
Yeah, I'm probably going to guess.
One with the herd. Shockingly, no. That mobility for the ME-109 is just too good. And I do find it kind of interesting. We are seeing an investment of 2-star aircraft here, so not going to see a lot of... What's the term I'm looking for?
Numbers?
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Yeah, availability, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting taking... I don't know... I think with the E4s, yeah, it's like the early Messerschmitt, you get a pretty good number of them in A phase with 2-star, so it's pretty card efficient.
3 or 4, though. It's not a ton necessarily.
Yeah, which is still pretty good for like a 2-star fighter. Even though not the best offensive armament, as you can see, but that's not too bad considering...
I was just checking down to the south. We're going to see this T-34 commander getting flanked and spanked. Meanwhile, up to the north, actually, the town's falling back into German control as well. They've cut off some Sapiris, and the Guards are not able to necessarily push back as many squads as are here.
Yeah. I really do love an SC2, like, especially in these 1v1s, we're seeing so much maneuver warfare going on. I see the Panther II Lukes has now been flanked, but oh look, the Messerschmitt coming in and trying to save it with a few strafing runs, but I think at half strength with the 50 cal is going to be the end of a little P2.
Bastards.
I know, right? How could you? Yeah,
exactly.
Driver killed, and now he is deaded.
He was just a prototype.
I know.
A prototype. Poor man. But really, it's kind of interesting. We are going to see these Guards Kamerati squad over here. I wonder if the Germans know there's one more squad of infantry within that little pocket.
Oh yeah, Sapari hidden behind enemy lines. That is a pretty decent little spot, yeah. That's perfect with the SVT rifles at like the medium range engagements. In like at lighter forests, they move up north a bit. They do really bloody good job.
Can you please take a look at the easternmost square for the Germans? Without a doubt, the best freaking panzer ever.
Like, how... These are goddamn ninjas, I swear to God.
Yeah.
That is nuts, how he's maneuvering these Panther 2s behind enemy lines so efficiently. Like, he dodged that 45mm AT gun. Like, damn.
Well, the Dushkas are right there, too. So, honestly, if he can aggress a little bit and take out maybe one of the Dushkas...
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, probably not, coming. Especially since we have a T-34 coming up now, so...
Oh, T-30... I think he knows the Panther 2 loses, yeah, he's waiting for something to stun it up a bit before going over the hill, because the Panther 2 could actually kill the T-34.
Yeah, the high rate of fire, it is only a 45 pen, but like we've discussed, penetration is not just a simple comparison of numbers anymore.
No, it's black magic. It's
yes, it is. It really
black
really
magic.
is.
It's kind of annoying trying to calculate it, especially compared to like SC-44, where it's just, you know, the number +1 every 100 meters. Now we just have to kind of like guesstimate. And
he's making a run.
Oh,
if he takes it, oh come on.
He's stressed out really fast, but the T-34 is coming in. Whoa! First shot.
You're a monster.
That's a shame he didn't do much more damage to that Panther 2, but that's gonna stabilize the line share for Curbs. And up north, yeah, we're getting a lot more of these right Jaegers and Grenadiers being brought up trying to clear the Soviet forest. In terms of the infantry game, Harteneck, they're going to win the infantry attrition for sure of their division.
Well, and honestly, I'd even say the tanks overall, considering that it's going to be a lot more kind of close-in fighting, the Hetzers are going to be a much more agreeable unit, I think, inside these forests.
Yeah, the Hetzer, I feel like Harteneck, they won't be able to do many big tank pushes, I think, as second guards, or second tank, as a lot of T-34s if you build it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a lot of bloody T-34s. But in the defense, Harteneck can hold ground really well, especially on this map. With some good hill positioning, Hetzers and Tigers, you can stall the T-34 rushes.
Now, we are going to see this guard squad at long last charging from the trees, trying to get inside this town. And they will be able to do so. They are announcing their presence rather obviously. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine it's going to last much longer as these mortars. Okay, no, the mortars are aggressing to the north. Okay, crawling barrage. Makes sense.
Yeah. These big 120 mils. And it definitely seems like Kampfgruppe is gonna... It's actually really funny his name's Kampfgruppe when he's playing a Kampfgruppe division. Is managing to make some territory up north. There's T-34s penetrating through the forest and there's not really much AT to stop him. It's off at 145 mil, but he doesn't have the best line of sight.
It's so weird to hear T-34s and see the German colors on them.
Yeah. I find it really funny how much captured equipment the Germans have so far, or like reared, like echelon troops. Like even we haven't really seen any, but with Gruppe Harteneck, you can get 2 cars of ersatz trooping, totaling 24 ersatz in A-phase if you really want to get the reserve span up and running.
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense when you think about it to a certain extent.
Yeah, and every single German division has ersatz trooping. I think that's going to be like the flavor for all the German divisions, which is interesting. Good card, Joe. They're a good card. And we also see our first Hungarian reinforcing up north.
Are we?
That really little Hungarian trucks and Stews. Yeah. And Stu-42s, which are a new unit. Not the best unit, unfortunately. It's a little bit expensive for 80 points, considering what it does. Doesn't even have any AP shells. But, you know, it's a fire support tank.
It was an assault gun.
It gives fire support, yeah.
So to take a look at that Hungarian squad, what makes them so good? Honestly, it's got to be that 14 fake 31s. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's just the insane amount of semi-automatic rifles that you get. And there's some semi-automatic rifles in this, I find even just the semi-automatic rifle squad does a lot of damage. They can really mess you up with the sheer amount of volume of fire. And also it's a 16-man squad, so they can, you know, they can take quite a few hits. So the Hungarian troops, really good. Really good troops so far.
Oh, we have this really gutsy Panzer Shrek squad jumping out. He's gonna get the shot off.
He goes, he shoots.
He aimed for the wrong vehicle.
I think he's a little bit out of range in the T-34.
Probably true, but he aimed for the wrong vehicle.
Yeah, he needed to get that Hail Mary shot.
Worth noting in the meantime, the Guards did take out their opposite DP Grenadiers in that town to the west, but now we actually have 2 squads. What the heck with the camera? 2 squads of Jaegers moving in around behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only a matter of time before that gets reduced. And all along the watchtower and the line, I feel like the Russians are getting forced into a rough retreat at the moment.
Yeah, this is going really well for Kampfgruppe. It does make sense. It has a very, I'm guessing, a very A phase, B phase heavy division, especially in terms of cards. I'm guessing just due to the income he's picked. While Curbs, I mean, he does have the later phase, like B phase, C phase income. So maybe he can get something ruling in C phase, especially with that division, as you can get a lot of those T-34s later on. I've actually seen some off-map being brought in up north from Curbs. I haven't seen this unit being used before. The weird... I was about to say truck, but if you zoom in, it's actually a Jeep. But the unit icon looks really weird. But it's just calling off map up north. Like that unit icon doesn't look like a Jeep. I mean, it has... I mean, I kind of see where it looks like a Jeep. But it just looks like a truck.
If you flipped it back around, then it made it look like it didn't have a Katyusha rack on the back.
Yeah.
That looks like an MLRS system, like one of those little rocket dudes.
And if you zoom in on the Jeep, it doesn't have like a back cover on it. It's just an open top Jeep, nothing fancy.
Niet the Vadish. But that first barrage is coming in, and the Hungarians are getting caught out in the open. Poor bastards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, damn, man. Off-map didn't do...
Yikes. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, I suppose.
No, I think it was a pretty large barrage area, so that's probably right. It's only 152 mil, which an SD2 isn't that big of caliber for artillery now.
No, it isn't. We are going to see, however, a resurgent Russian force are going to take back this northern control point pretty easily, I would think. Especially another TOT barrage in there. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I feel like the Hussok's are going to do a pretty good job against these Avtomachikis, as they got the open ground engagement.
As long as they see them, somehow. They're not firing.
Nope. There we go. There we go. And in the open ground, especially now with the recent patch, as you see, infantry really get messed up if they're out in the open. Infantry's survivability has gone down quite a bit.
Kind of makes sense. I can definitely see the argument both directions.
Yeah, I'm happy with the change. It's better than it was before. Maybe tune it down just a little bit the other way again, but yeah. I think it's... I mean, there are 2-star infantry to be fair as well as Hassuk, so it does make sense. And also semi-automatic rifles. Yeah, they just delete us. Anything that comes in their array in an open ground engagement.
So the Hussars Goldios. Well, I'm going to need someone to help me how to pronounce that one. But those are the anti-tank versions of the Hungarians, are they not?
This is a machine gun team run.
Machine gun team, okay.
They got 3 bloody
that's right.
31s, which is like some Swiss machine gun. So they're even better in open ground engagements, especially longer range engagements, because by God, like 3 of those machine guns is pretty scary stuff.
Yep, you're right, my bad. But for some reason, whenever I see an extra appellation onto any unit, my first thought is it's got to be an anti-tank thing.
This has got to be an AT rifle.
Curbs is lining himself up for a counterpunch, though. He's bringing in kind of his own little Russian Kampfgruppe. Some squads of infantry kind of centered around a T-34. However, I don't think... Oh, no, actually, you know what? He has a nice blend of firepower. He's got superiors to kind of get supported by the Avtomachikis getting in. He's got guards for some long-range support. This is the way combined arm tactics are supposed to work.
Yeah, if he can get the Avtos within the Avtomachikis into the forest, and heck, I'd say into the barracks area, but there's not really many buildings left. If he can get up close to them, they should do pretty fine, and just use the T-34 to give some good fire support. There's not really too much scaring array of AT here. I mean, some 18-aids, and that's really it, so... That T-34, I think, is going to be very much the important factor in the fight up north. And there goes Stu. It got killed by an AT rifle, I believe.
No, actually, I think it was actually the T-34-85, just moving west.
Oh, yeah, it does have line of sight, you're right.
And the Germans not able to deploy a whole lot. They are running pretty dry on artillery strikes.
Yeah.
Going after that Maxim, which has somehow pierced their lines quite significantly.
You don't have much artillery with Gruppe Harteneck. Like, you got a few mortars, and you can get some off-map and some off-map recon plane, but that's about it. It's pretty lackluster apart from that. Especially compared to the other German divisions, which all have really good artillery.
So, if you had to liken Harteneck to somebody, who would you liken it to?
Paris.
Okay.
Division. But better.
In pretty much every single way, no?
Yeah, pretty much. Better infantry, better tank support, because you can get heavy tanks earlier on. I mean... Yeah, they feel very similar to Paris, especially some of the ragtag units. But not as ragtag as Paris Division has, like, you know, bloody Kriegsmarine troops and Russian troops and French captured tanks. It's definitely much more of a mixed blend of stuff. But yeah, Harteneck's a lot of fun. I think they're a really cool division that's been added, as you can hopefully tell by now. But
So please, by all means.
Just down south, it seems like things aren't going out well for the Germans. There's a big ISU and some T-34s being brought in, and not too much in the defense down here.
Well, they had a couple of Hetzers, but unfortunately the Hetzers were engaged with the T-34, and I think that 76, there was another tank there as well. Was it the ISU, perhaps? No. Maybe a little bit. You see plenty of vehicles burning.
Yeah, that's a lot of that stuff. That's a lot of that. Yeah, that's a few dead hatches, yeah.
But there's a couple of door knockers, and there's actually a field howitzer. A 75mm field howitzer, which I find oddly hysterical.
Yep, that's like the great artillery of Gruppe Harteneck. You got some captured, like, I think it was a Rotor 1 hour of French field guns.
That's what this is.
Guns.
This is the Französisch 238.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a gun. It does have AP, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's not the best AP. 60mm isn't
wow, and one shot takes them both out.
Yeah, ISU does not mess around when it comes to blowing the stuff up. Oh.
So we haven't talked so much about the newer Soviet division. What can you tell us about that?
It's one's... Well, we haven't really seen the new one yet. It's just the second guards, which was in, like, the first and second phase.
True.
But the new Ninth Cavalry is also a pretty cool division. They're not as good. They're good in, like, close range fights, but when it comes to anything that has thick armor, they're pretty much quite good.
Worth noting that up to the north, the fearsome Hungarians have been put to flight, and I'm not even trying to be sarcastic by saying that. Pinned down, overfought, like outshot. These guys were getting pounded.
Yeah, and the IL-2 is definitely not helping things by doing some strafing runs.
Nope. This is actually the first IL-2 we're seeing, isn't it? I feel like we've seen tons and tons of yaks, but we haven't seen that many.
Yeah, we haven't seen any in a while.
Russian counterpunch to the south, by the way, does send the bleed in the other direction. Wow, that's actually a lot of infantry.
That's a really good placement or usage of half-tracks here to just try to break through. And you gotta realize, with the Russian division, you only get like 18 half-tracks, like 50 cal half-tracks in total. So you really gotta make them count. You can't just do half-track rushes really like an SD-44. You gotta make these half-tracks count, and that got a lot of ground here for curbs, and that's gonna even it back up to pretty much 50-50 for both sides. And I know Curbs might be able to bring us back now. I mean, he is still pretty close to losing, but Kampfgruppe has definitely lost some of that momentum.
There was one squad of MP-44 troops moving into that town at the southern central side of the map. Right by that Blue Orthodox church, in fact. Unfortunately, they did not debark in time to avoid that anti-tank grenade.
Nope.
I did read recently of anti-tank dogs supposedly used by the Russians.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard this before.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, jeez. It sounds totally barbaric.
Yeah, and you know what happened at the end when they actually used the anti-tank dogs, right?
Well, wasn't that they went for the Russian tanks because they got used to the smell of the Russian gasoline over the German
I believe it's
blend.
something along those lines, yeah. And they also trained in Russian tanks.
Yes.
Which is, you know, it's pretty macabre humor, but.
If you don't want macabre humor, you should really go to a different channel right about now.
Yeah, it's just the idea of using like good puppers to run under tanks to blow themselves up. It's just such a strange idea.
Yes.
You think you could just use a rocket launcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
109. He's gonna buy the farm.
That was a real good turn. Yeah, from the Yak Normandy.
Now I'm fascinated to watch this Tiger E engage on the move here. Now he does espy his first target, and watch him get knocked out by something like the Ultimate Cheeky or something like that, to make me really angry.
I'm having a feeling he's probably going to strafe the Tiger a little bit more, and that T-34 is going to come around the corner and be like, "You're mine now." Yeah, there's a pack gun. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's his saving grace, his backup. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's going to do the rocket run. T-34 going to come around the corner.
There we go.
Yep. Just as planned.
And just as planned, here comes the 45mm gun.
Is he going to do it just in the nick of time?
Yep, he does.
Yep.
Crew killed.
Wow, for the first, really accurately predicted ya.
That's scary.
That is scary. We used to get everything completely wrong in recast.
Now, we do have a furball up to the skies here. We have an ME-109's pouncing as much as they can on these IL-2s and the Yaks. IL-2's going to buy it. There we go, that's one. He quickly turns to the other one. That's a hell of a pilot. Doesn't save his comrade, but you know what? A 2-for-1 that almost takes out a 3rd Infantry squad. Yeah. You can't hate that.
It's going for the head-on. The one thing I love about this game, like, the improvement is the air combat is so much more satisfying now. With the larger maps where you have more room to maneuver with your fighter planes, and this increased lethality definitely makes air combat a lot more fun. And really beautiful and interesting to watch. That's definitely... That's a good Messerschmitt, right? Yeah. Jeez.
It is worth noting that the northern side of the map, this one squad of Hungarians, he has arrested the decay in terms of the German bleed. And outside of that, he's got to be feeling pretty damn happy with himself. He's been throwing together a scratch defense here.
Yep.
But neither are the Russians really giving up. We have 4 more squads of Automachiki coming through its center. I'm fascinated by the idea we haven't seen any support vehicles for either side.
We've seen the ISU.
No, let me rephrase. Ammunition trucks.
Oh, yeah, that's been yeah. I mean, both sides have actually used their mortars quite a bit. Both sides have their mortars empty. There we go. We're seeing the ammo truck up north.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. So.
Oh, there it is.
In the nick of time. Yeah.
And both of them actually. So we see, one coming out of both. It's
you have a good
weird,
time
right?
in that car.
You know, we're either getting really good at this, or we're becoming really predictable.
Yeah.
Now, people do have to be a little bit concerned this Panzerjäger should just barely be getting shots off. No. Maybe? Yes? You will get a couple. No, wow, it's poor Hetzer.
No.
He's getting teased constantly.
Right Jaeger is not going to be alright when a platoon of Automachikis is rolled up on his doorstep. Very loud, angry neighbors.
Whoa, what the heck happened to that Tiger?
He got pounced on, I guess. I think it was a SIS-2 gun. I killed it. Yeah, I think it was a SIS-2 for sure.
Probably, yeah. You're probably right there. Wow, and just like that, we're back to 15-9 against the Germans.
Damn. Yeah, and capturing both towns, and a bit of the middle, and entirety of the south side. Yeah, curbs has managed to nick quite a bit of territory for him in this short amount of time.
Wondering, like you said, the Germans have not probably got a real thick bench for sea phase, and we are very, very much in that right now. So how's that going to fall? Is that going to be basically the same kind of pain that every single Harteneck group is going to face?
No, you can play pretty well C-phase for Harteneck, honestly, because you can get some pretty card-efficient Tigers in C-phase and play out longer game pretty well, honestly. It's just, I think, for Kampfgruppe here, he's decided to sort of build his deck more towards A-phase, B-phase heavy loadout instead, and it paid off for him early on, as we saw. He made some great ground, but he just hasn't been able to hold on to it now, as the Russian tidal wave of tanks. Oh, well, we don't really have many tanks, honestly. The Kurds doesn't really use that many T-34s, it's just the tidal wave of everything else is starting to break his lines.
Well, I think one of the reasons we haven't seen all of these tanks is because we've had some really good anti-tank play from these light 45mm guns.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the IL-2s are not going to help this. They're just going to go and nail one of the infantry squads in the center? No?
No.
Interesting.
Here comes the Messerschmitt.
Yeah, but head-to-head with a Yak is not what you want to be doing. Oh, engine damage,
Ooh.
okay.
I think the Messerschmitt has much more beefier gun loadout, so in a head-to-head it does have the advantage.
Yeah, but I've just like head-to-head to me, just always such a rough thought here.
Yeah.
And he dies, poor guy.
Oh yeah, just the anti-air killed him.
Down to the south, worth noting that Tiger Fuhrer that has been able to help arrest some of the bleed. He's actually taken all the territory that's worth matters except for that one flag there.
Yeah, the Russians now... I love his maneuver warfare, as we're seeing, as the Russians have now been cut off. I mean, it's going to be a pain to dig those guys out of that forest. Really, the best bet is this artillery to hell them back and move in some infantry. But Kampfgruppe, he's not gonna stop to clear any forest. Oh no, he's gonna keep pushing forward.
So I was stuck watching Bala here going after his IL-2.
Goes.
I said that was one durable freaking fighter there for a second. Wow.
Yeah, I mean the IL-2 was, I think it was pretty well armored, if I recall. It's a rather tough customer to knock out, as we just saw. But his southern push is really interesting. It's really all hinging around his Tiger, essentially. It's going to be a little bit risky if you have many T-34s. Well, I'd say that many. Oh yeah, there's 3 T-34s, but he manages to hold the corner.
Let's not ignore that system.
Oh yeah, and that's his gun. So, yeah. He definitely feels like he needs some more reinforcements down south, but even then, like, it's going to be kind of hard to bring in more reinforcements because the Russians do have that hill and a pretty good overview on the hill. They can't really kill any tanks that come down it, but these transports they can unload.
I admit there are times I wish the tank play was a teensy bit sooner so I could get them, as opposed to just being like, oh look, they're ants. But, you know, the price we play for, you know, historical realism.
Yeah. I think one of these T-34 is going to go down to a Panzerfaust.
Yeah. You can't see them. Oh my gosh, guys, there's the Battle of the Bulge. Go south.
Can't you hear the roaring engine?
Spalling, armor cracked.
Oh.
GG.
Yeah.
And we have these brave Hungarian troops. Time to clamber on top of the tank, boys. Or not.
Throw the grenade in the hatch. Oh, they got the AT. Oh no, yeah, it's not the AT. No,
wrong ones.
No.
The right Diego, so he's finally going to come on down and try to pick some of that up, but Otto Machiki moving in behind him going to cause some more issues than that.
That's going to get the southern side back to the Russians as they grab quite a bit of territory now. And at this point, it definitely seems like Kampfgruppe has just lost his really lost all momentum. If you look at the middle of the map, he really has nothing. The 3 infantry squads essentially in total.
Yeah, one of those is sorely abused, and one's a spot troop.
Yeah.
And yes, but I don't know. I feel like Curbs is also running a little bit out as well. We have a couple of machine guns coming in, and 2 more to the north. I think Curbs is pretty much tapped on infantry.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You don't get that much infantry for the second armored, so he's definitely almost that, and he's been using a lot of Avtomachiki this match.
Which, not for nothing, are pretty good, pound for pound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think had they come up against the Germans in similar numbers, we might have had a very different result.
Yeah. But the armor play and maneuvering from Curbs later on has definitely helped him secure this match now. He has lost some of that ground up north. Kampfgruppe is pulling his punches up here. But it's really coming down to the few Tigers that he has, and it can be risky to use those Tigers when there's a lot of those T-34s out in the field.
Well, it's endangered species, man. You can't just throw away that stuff willy-nilly.
I know. Some cheekies in the middle, just nothing there to stop him at all, so that's going to run across an open field. This game, just human incarn. I say it almost every cast, but it looks so goddamn good.
Well, I like the fact that these guys are running at different speeds.
Yeah.
I have a bit of like after image going on here. They're like so fast, they're leaving like shades of themselves behind. But
oh yeah, I see that too. The weird like visual glitch. But yeah, like even just the infantry movement as we're seeing now. I'm guessing you're zoomed in as well on your screen. Yeah. It's like how they're all spread out a little bit, and it's not just like clumped up. It definitely seems much more organic. And for Eugene, for the past like 7 years, ever since like Ruse, the infantry animations have not been great, but now they've definitely improved quite a bit.
Well, worth even more is that wait until you get to see some of the single player stuff. Like get some defenses in here. Watch them move down defenses. I love that about the infantry.
That's gonna be so much fun.
Oh,
I mean, even in Breakthrough already, setting up trenches and defenses is a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Okay, and here's where the ZSU finds itself in a perfect role. Sprinkling machine gun fire all over a hillside. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to go on there. And yeah, the hill's completely gone. Now, folks, this is why you never give up and you never surrender. The Russians had a very, very dire circumstance going on here. They're going to probably lose another plane. But it's 18-6 right now. I'm waiting for almost to be like 20-2. Like it really feels like it should be that dire.
Yeah. At this point, Kampfgruppe is ran out of stuff. I think barely any infantry, barely. I mean, there's a few infantry being brought in now. Got some Jaeger pioneers up north, but he's lost out momentum. And to be fair, like the second armor division is an extremely good late phase division.
Yes.
Like probably, I mean, that and 5th Panzer are probably the two most best divisions in game at the moment.
They both have 6 that are there, but yeah.
Yeah. the best, the top third of divisions so far.
From a statistical standpoint, even I could find a good division at this point.
Yeah. But they're both very big powerhouse divisions. I mean,
yes, I will.
Lots of tanks is always good. You can't go wrong with lots of tanks in SD2.
Well, you were telling me before the cast about a great, a friend of ours having a really interesting deck construction. Do you want to share that with the viewers?
Yeah, it's the second, like the same division, second guards, the armored, but you just have like 97 T-34s.
Literally, 97.
You can even have more. You could fit in more.
And that's literal though. You're not being hyperbolic or facetious by saying like 97. You mean
no?
It's
literal number 97 T-34s. Quite a few T-34 76s, mixing some 85s, and you can't run out of T-34s at that point. You may lose them, but you can always buy more.
True. I mean, that's actually kind of occurred to me just now. So I kind of wonder, activation points. How many activation points must all of that take up?
Honestly, not that much, honestly. And the T-34s are pretty, like, universal. Like, you don't need support guns if you got that many T-34s, or machine gun teams if you got that many T-34s. Or heck, even that much infantry if you got that many T-34s. You just rush into a town of T-34 76s. There's not too much AT infantry that can really scare you off, honestly. Except for like Panzerfaust and Panzerstrikes, but they're not too common.
Apparently not. I will say it's a little terrifying to watch Zelta Machiki in the forest as his tiger's like, oh, I've run afoul of some hunters.
Yeah. I really do think infantry AT grenades should have a bit more range.
Yeah,
like 120. I think 60s is a little bit too harsh, especially considering the size difference.
And the throttle difference in terms of the tanks, like the speed from 0 to go is pretty damn fast.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that trucks no longer are impervious to small arms.
Mm-hmm.
We did just see an Ultima Chiki's squad. There's a Pioneer squad came in on a whatever you call them. I can't think of the name of the truck. And this Ultima Chiki squad burst of fire, and the entire squad was dead. It made perfect sense. I may not like it personally, but it works well.
Yeah.
It really does. Meanwhile, Tiger comes into the north, and he immediately gets put down, the poor kitty.
Yeah, damn, there's really nothing on the field at this point from kampfgruppe. Like, he's just lost so much momentum. And we just look at the stuff on the field from Curbs. He's, we've got quite a lot of infantry, AT guns, machine gun teams, and T-34s spread all over in a rather nice fashion.
Indeed.
And he's got 3 T-34s just charging up north.
Yep.
in a very, very packed up motion. Maybe a little bit too close, but gotta have that death train. Got to zooming in on those T-34, seeing them move, shoot at the same time.
It's like a synchronized swim team.
So cool.
Even the Russian judge can't be disappointed by that.
I know.
I mean, that's kind of Homer job, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me wants to see somebody create some sort of Dubno scenario. Like, anyone out there want to feel a little bit frisky, please, by all means, create a Dubno scenario. It's massive tank battles. Don't even make it capture points. Just make it an annihilation mission. I would.
Just
Jesus out of that.
Give the Russians 400 T-26s or something, some BT tanks thrown in.
And geez, and give the Germans the P3s and P4s. Give me some late models. We're all set. Ugh. But yeah, you're right. You're right to say it, and I'm right to kind of agree with you. I think on this point too, the game is ridiculously beautiful.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, if you guys are on the Steel Division official Discord, there's a screenshot artwork channel, just people posting screenshots, and all of them continue to amaze me. And that's not exaggeration. They really do blow me away with some of the awesome scenes and just images that people manage to capture. Like, this game is so good looking.
Yeah. Now, I do need to point out, not to just show that the Germans are capturing equipment. We do see a Russian Panzerschreck squad take out a Tiger just now, proving that the Germans do some things very well. Their anti-tank is wonderful, except when it's used to the wrong equipment. And I think we're going to see a Henkel 111 bomb some tanks just before this game might end.
Oh, come on. We've got to see the big booms.
5, 4, 3, 2... Happy New Year? No! You tease us! Oh,
such a cock block. Such a cock block. Just why could you lose a little bit slower? Come on. Come on.
But you know what? At least we have new post-game artwork, and this artwork now is just as beautiful, man.
Yeah. This game looks good. The game... You may complain about the balance and whatnot, but you gotta admit, it looks bloody good.
And we will. You've seen that happen.
Yeah, pretty close in kills though, only a 600 point difference, which is pretty close in general. And looking at the kills here,
we have an AT gun that kills more infantry than tanks.
Yeah, which is funny. It also doesn't have AT ammos. One AA gun killed 4 Messerschmitts. He's nearly a ground ace. That better be a thing. Nothing too crazy apart on the Russian side, which is more to be expected. I don't really have anything super heavy at all, pretty medium sad stuff for the Germans.
We have one Russian and one Hungarian squad taking out 5 of opposite number.
Yeah.
Where's that? Oh wow, Jost, Huzanok. 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
2 squads of infantry. Several positions. Well done there.
Yeah.
But gone are the days when we have one unit carrying the team.
Yeah, it's pretty even Stevens from both sides. Nothing really too crazy overall. Just pretty spread out affair.
Indeed. So I do know that the beta goes on until Monday, isn't that true?
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around that time.
So guys, if you are interested, if you've been seeing the stuff on our channels and like what you see here, go over, pick up the game. It's still on beta. You know, get cracking with the commanding. I mean, geez, it's certainly worth a look.
Mm-hmm.
But if nothing else, Rang, any pearls of wisdom you want to lay on us?
None at all.
Guys, okay, I guess Rang's just gonna clam up for now, but until next time, my Soviets and Soviettes, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, take it easy.